Hey folks, welcome back to the channel of Insurance Made Simple. Wanted to give you an update. So, last Wednesday, the flood inspector showed up. And a lot of times they'll use like third-party adjusters, people that travel around the country doing this for the National Flood Insurance Program. And he came, he evaluated everything. Anything that he saw motor-wise that hit salt water, he made sure was added to our list. So we appreciate that. Um, what I've learned is salt water, anything that it touches with like copper windings, like your dishwasher, your washing machines, it's done forever. Really can't be fixed because it actually starts breaking down the wire and starts corrosion right away. That green patina that some people are familiar with. We also met with the FEMA inspector last Thursday. And the FEMA inspector came and took a look, checked with the client to see what kind of coverage they had on the flood side. And so we're just waiting for those reports to be written up. Good news, just got a call that auto owners had offered my client a settlement down there, and the settlement was fair. I was really amazed at how well they handled that. They actually had Copart basically pull the black box data. So to get the mileage, because we couldn't even put the keys in the ignition. It was that bad corrosion wise. They offered us a fair settlement, which was on the better side of the mark that we were looking for. So I tell you what, if you have auto owners down in Florida and you have full coverage, I think you're probably in pretty good shape. They seem to be handling their claims in a fair manner. You know, we've checked the Kelly's Blue Book, the Edmunds. We've looked at the market value by looking at like Auto Trader and things like that to see what cars of that nature with that mileage are selling for. And they treated this client pretty fair. So hats off to auto owners. I don't sell them here in Colorado, but I know they are available here in Colorado. They're a good company, and they do handle the claims in a solid manner, at least in this case that we're looking at. So I'm going to get back to the FEMA thing. They did show up for that inspection, but my client is still waiting on that $750 that supposedly people were going to get that were flooded. So far, they haven't received anything. Now, we did it through FEMA directly. We filled out the application. I was there and assisted in that process. We put on all the electronic information so it could be deposited. We heard it was taken up to 10 days. And, here we are, probably 20 days later, and we haven't received any. And those are calendar days, not business days. So hopefully that will come through for this client. But FEMA did show up for the inspection. They did write the report. So, going to give them a little bit more time because they have a lot to process, especially with the additional of Milton. So that at this point they are probably overwhelmed and strapped. So we'll give them a little more time. I don't get into the politics of whose administration it is because, we expect FEMA to work no matter who's in power, whether it be an independent, a Republican, or a Democrat. So we're not going to get into the political nature of it. But we hope that hopefully those things start to come together. My client was able to purchase a new vehicle. That's good. They were also able to get a new washer and dryer, and they were also able to get a new refrigerator. Now, they're out for those currently until they receive money back from the insurance flood claim. Good news is it's a wash. My client lost 2 vehicles, and they were able to purchase a new one. So the good news is that they won't be really out of pocket, but they will be down to 1 car. So anytime you only have 1 vehicle that you can drive, I recommend to go ahead and get rental car reimbursement. Don't buy the cheapest, because it's when you go to rent a car when there's a problem of this nature, the price of those cars, those cheap cars, go really quick. I recommend at least $40 per day, if not $50. So anyway, thanks for joining us on our channel. Please like and subscribe, and please keep checking back for more information as we learn this process together. Remember, if you're in the state of Florida, you need flood insurance, wind insurance, and hazard insurance on your home. You need 3 different coverages just for the home and the contents. Very important that you do that. I ran into lots of people down there that could afford it, so they didn't buy it, or really thought that they might have had it on their regular hazard insurance. That is never the case in Florida. Now, in Colorado, we buy flood insurance, and our wind is generally covered with a higher deductible on our regular home insurance. So please check with your agent to make sure you're properly covered. As we learned in the Superior fire, a lot of people did not have enough coverage for such as law and ordinance changes that happened where they changed the building codes, and that added a lot to it. They also, in the Superior fire, were not able to choose the people that did the debris removal. And so they just had to pay whatever the city had contracted with. And that was larger than most people would have thought it should have been. So be very careful and check your insurance once a year. When you read over that declarations page, call your agent and say, hey, do I have enough coverage? Go through a cost calculator to make sure that you're adequately covered. And never, never underinsure a home. If your home is worth $750,000 to replace it, don't insure it for $500,000. Most people don't have 250 grand in their pocket. Okay, so be thinking, be smart, and I know you got to pay for that insurance, and I know it's getting more and more expensive. And as these catastrophic claims keep happening, it might get to the point where that insurance is unaffordable or there's not a lot of competition in the state. And so we want to make sure that when we do make a claim that we're making a legitimate claim. We're not wanting to nickel and dime insurance companies for, this or that. We're trying to make real claims. So, for example, if you have $1,000 deductible and you have a $1,200 claim, it might not be to your benefit to make that claim because it's harder for someone else to insure you down the road. All right. Thanks again for joining us at Insurance Made Simple. Hope you've learned something today, and I hope this has been informative. Thanks once again. Bye-bye.